Hello everybody, welcome back for StarCraft 2 action. We have a banger here. It's Stats going up against Lambo in a best of 5. The Bellum Gens Elite 2024 losers bracket. The winner goes to top 8. And we have the Shield of Ire of old, I would say. He hasn't really been back into, well, his old form, I would say. Class, of course, is eternal, as MMA has stated before. But Stats used to be one of the very best, and now he's still kind of like trying to find his groove, going up against Der Professor. I don't know how you say it in German. Not exactly, at least. And Lambo, we have seen him play some Zerg versus Protoss in this tournament. He played versus Gerald. Pretty straightforward games for Lambo there. Just likes going for 3 base, gets a Roach Warren, gets +1, then a lair, not too early of a lair. Nice 3 base saturation, and then goes for +1 melee, gets his Banelings, and then kind of makes it ambiguous for the Protoss if he's going to go for like a Ling, Roach, Baneling, Ravager type of bust. If he sees something, he will definitely do it in my double best of 5 series cast versus Hearthstone, which is like a very long video because it's 2 best of 3s, I think, not best of 5s. 2 best of 3s between Hearthstone and Lambo because they met twice in the same tournament. I think that was IEM. Maybe it was Katowice. I'm not sure, but you can probably find it. He would just pounce on Hearthstone whenever he had the chance, and in this tournament he kind of showed the same openings, and then he is one to just throw down a Spire when he feels like he can get away with it. I am expecting to see that once, this best of 5, at least once. So let's see how this all plays out. Stats going for a nice Adept here, not starting Gateway research just yet, because he needs that gas for an early Stargate. About the earliest Stargate you can get. An Adept, obviously only 25 minerals. Or, minerals. Jeez, that would be scary, no? 25 gas. I think it's a 125 minerals. A little more expensive. Lambo, only 2 Lings. He's going to get a 3rd base down at a reasonable time. Can't get blocked at all. Now, did Stats scout? Stats did scout a little bit and went home with his probe. Just confirming Lambo isn't doing anything funky. No more gas being mined. Kind of missed how fast the speed was. But since it's finishing like 320-ish, like a decently fast speed. Creep Tumor at the front. 2 more Queens being created. Extra gateways going down. And do we already? Nope. Don't have an Oracle just yet. Halfway done. And Stats is looking towards this 3rd base. And the Ling sees all. Oh, speed finishes up. And the Ling does get out. 3rd base goes down 330. And the Oracle's here. Now we saw Solar play against Hearthstone, and he would basically be running across the map here with a bunch of Zerglings. Which, if you look at the drone count, that is quite the investment. But if it pays off, it will pay off big time. And that is one of those callouts where you're like, I think my Protoss opponent is a little too greedy with it. I'm just going to make a round of Lings and do some damage. I think my micro is good. I think he doesn't make enough Adepts. I think the map has too much of a distance between the 3rd and the natural to comfortably hold without losing a probe or 2. Ooh, 2 Creep Tumor kills here for the Oracle. Can't cancel those anymore nowadays. Feels bad. Another Creep Tumor. Stats won't have any of it. Evolution Chamber. Roach Warren going down. Nothing surprising here. And in the near future, we will probably see a lair here. Another Creep Tumor going down. And 2 drones. A 3rd Oracle's underway, and we do have the Twilight Console Forge. So Stats playing super duper standard. Lambo, 10 more drones fired up. And a 4th base is down. Not enough energy on these oracles to do anything about that. Blink, +1. 2 more gateways. So 4-gate blink. Oh my god, dude. Can't get any creep tumors out. These queens don't have any energy remaining. So although Lambo hasn't had to spend like a lot of money on new drones, he has had to spend money on spores. He has to use all of the energy on the queens, which means that he has to react a little bit more decisively when Stats moves out, because there is not a lot of transfuse energy available. That has been completely thinned out. Lings are running in to see what is Stats doing. I want to see what you have for an army. I don't see a 4th base. And we see Templar Archives coming out. Simulator boom happening. So 6 gas for the Protoss here and no 4th base just yet. Dude, look at Stats. He's just continuously eroding away all of this creep. And Lambo has been trying to respread. A 4th base has been established, but these oracles can get a couple drone kills here. 1 drone does go down. And even a cannon here. For Stats, what is he thinking? Well, Lambo's thinking straight into lurkers, baby. Hydrodan infestation pit going down, more drones. And Lambo hasn't really super duper droned, but also hasn't made a huge army. So basically droned up straight to 80 drones. Did it safely, but didn't have to commit like a big amount of army units. Robos coming down for Stats. Now 4 more gateways, pushing him up to 8. We get Storm, the AoE of choice for the Protosses in this matchup nowadays. And a 4th base does go down. 645 Lambo taking a 5th, and I wouldn't mind even seeing a 6th. Just making sure that if there's a Zealot run by, it doesn't hit these drones, it hits like a ad-free building over there. And Stats moving across the map with his Stalkers. They do have +1. We are getting a nice stasis ward, and this area, Stats has prepared it very nicely for himself. The Zerglings run in willingly, get on top of that stasis ward, and now Stats is going to shave off a couple of these Lings. Hydras are already coming out. Another stasis ward triggered, very nicely done by Lambo here. And we see Overlord speed, +1 coming out, a Hive, and a Lurker Den. So Lambo just kind of being allowed to take straight up into those Lurkerinos. We do have +1 range for the Hydras. And now we're getting, the range upgrade. And now we also have the movement speed upgrade coming up for the Hydras. They don't have that wave dash ability just yet, which I hope they call it the wave dash. You know, I just want it to be wave dash back. Because, you know, wave dash back, forward smash, if you played any amount of Smash Brothers Melee or just watched it. That's just too funny. Oh, stasis ward grabs 3 Hydras, grabs a couple Lings over there. Hydras get stuck behind their frozen fellow Hydras, but Lambo just stays alive. 90 drones, sitting pretty. We do have a 4th base for Stats here, and he's digging in his heels. Getting shield batteries, getting cannons, getting High Templar, and is going for a double Tempest. Oh my, I love me some Tempest, and these are the Tempests that are still 4 supply? 5 supply? I think they are 5 supply in this patch, which honestly kind of crazy. Oh, that's a lot of Lurkers. 8 Lurkers with 4 Dropper Lords, and these Zealots barely don't find them. Oh my god. Dude, this is going to be a sick drop. We even see a Nydus Worm. And Glorious Combat, apparently. Adept goes down there. Oh my god, Lambo's so on top of making sure that he doesn't get stasised in. And a Ling Lurker, baby. This is Brood War. And the Nydus goes down. 8 Lurkers being dropped in the natural of Stats. Now that is very difficult to combat here for Stats. He's completely on the other side of the map. And wow, Lambo even gets a nice round with all of his Lings. Dude, +1 Lings on top of all of those High Templar. The Storms don't go down. I think Stats was working on those Lurkers in his natural. And now we have another Nydus Worm going down. We have more Lurkers. And these only just now getting revealed. They have +1 range, even doing quite a bit of damage. And so many probes going down. We do have this Zealot run-by, or double Zealot run-by, doing counter damage, so both players get bloodied. But I can't help but feel that Lambo did the cool move, so I feel like he should be ahead. No bias. Cap. Oh, lots of lurkers here. Oh my god, Stats walks into his own wall, kind of... yeah, funneling all of his units into lurker lines. But the lurkers can't retreat. There is no nydus canal ready to help these lurkers get out of the natural stat, but the entire natural has been breached, and now the hydras are coming out. We have 4 Tempest on the map, and the mothership still single targeting anything that he can find, or she can find. Don't want to assume the gender of the mothership, but I mean, mother does imply female. 4 Tempest, a Mothership, and 4 High Templar, and a lot of Dreams. I mean, 3 Oracles still. Stats been on top of this Oracle. Or Micro. Like, his Oracle control is really good. If you lose those Oracles, instantaneously you lose all of, like, its utility. But look at this. The Revelation, the Stasis Traps, you continuously get those throughout the game. And keeping those Oracles alive and getting that value out of them is kind of like the Queens for Zerg. If you just keep those alive, you get more Transfuse, more Larva, and more Creep Tumors. Nydus in the main gets taken care of. I thought I saw some Vipers. We do have 2 Vipers on the map, but they are not here to yoink that mothership, which of course, in the near future, won't be a possibility anymore. But if it happens, we are going to enjoy it for one last time, perhaps. And ooh, finally, Adrenal Glands coming up. Lurker Burrow only just coming out. Ooh, the yoink and the mothership. Minus 300 in this patch. And these Hydralisks are pretty good at killing Tempest. Tempest kind of paper planey. But look at that. They have good range. I like me some Tempest, dude. I think they're really, really good. If you have any semblance of an army, they just enhance that army so much. I also just think they look cool. I've said that before. And I'll say it again, god damn it. I don't know, they just kind of feel like a Command & Conquer unit a little bit. I don't know why. They just have a good vibe. Oh my god, that hatchery, dude. Almost died to the Zealot run-bys. Lambo hasn't been able to establish a 6th. That is important, because Stats has his natural back. And if Lambo stays on these bases for long, he's going to run out of steam eventually. Now, the lurkers do have the movement speed. I don't know if it's still... It doesn't help them burrow, right? But it helps them unburrow? Like, they've changed it so many times. But now, lurkers have both of the upgrades. Lots of hydras here as well. They should give lurkers the pushing, dude. These lurkers try to push, but... We have 1 nydus. We might get another nydus in the back here. Lings and hydras actually surrounded by the Protoss. Do we have any observers here? No, we have 1 observer. Where's that observer? I want to see it. Observer, please! Okay, it's somewhere here, but... Sometimes it doesn't work when you click the observer. Oh, it's in the army, okay. Because when it's on the screen, it doesn't, like, teleport you to it. Oh, Lambo tries to force himself in, gets stormed for days, dude! Did not check the weather report, and got stormed to Valhalla. Nirvana, or whatever heaven you want to think about. Oh my god, more Stats is more storms, dude. He invested in the stock market in 2008, and now he's cashing out all of those storms after the crash. Oh, but... Oh no, the Tempest go down. How many more Tempest? 3 more Tempest. I think Stats is going to hold here. The Tempest, they're standing tall, standing strong, and the last few lurkers are getting taken down. No Overseers here. Rogue is shaking his head. Should have brought 35 Overseers, Lambo. Oh, the Transfuses are going down. Lurkers are pretty beefy boys. And, oh, Lambo actually trying to click down that Nexus. And as you can see, he's kind of running out of steam, but Stats all the same. No more storms. 3 Tempest in the sky. 1 gets yoinked in and dies immediately. Viper almost gets targeted down. Another Tempest tries to kite back, gets shut down. It's Stats. Taps out here in game number 1. Lambo takes the lead, big supply lead, and in the end, did not run out of gas. I was very afraid that he would run out of gas, but his natural and third are still providing him with some income. I think 1 or 2 more minutes and Lambo is in trouble there. But Stats, even with this, like, Trumpish wall, which, you know, sadly, I think he won? So it's a relevant meme again. Did not manage to hold on. I mean, creep thread all the way to your third base. That's a big creep highway. That's very sexy. Lambo, taking game number 1. And for game number 2, we load up into Alcyone. Lambo versus Stats. Stats going for a low ground wall. Does not go for pylon scout. And Lambo sends out a drone at 14. Going for the gold, baby. Hell yeah. That's what we're talking about. Before the action kicks off, be sure that you subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying this StarCraft 2 content and want me to keep doing it. Thank you so very much for watching. Stats moving out. Is his probe going to pass downtown? Just take a little look over at the gold and then go to the main. No, he is not. I feel like this is such a small detour, but maybe for a 12 pool, you just need the advance warning. So that you need to see that there is no hatchery right now. Or need to see that there is no pool or is a pool. Or Stats is built to work. I feel like 12 pool isn't that good. I mean, he hasn't even seen it. Stats not flying blind because he sees that there is no hatchery, but he does see that there is a lot of drones. So he's not afraid. Like, if you see this many drones, you know you're not getting early pulled. He's not saving up any larva for a pool that would be finished by now. Goes for Nexus into a core. We'll get his second assimilator, second pylon, and go from there. And the drones are Maynarding their way to the gold base. And I mean, it's Alcyone. You have to be prepared for this as a Protoss. So how does Stats deal with this? Lambo is mining gas. I wager he just goes for speed and then stops, because you just need the Zerglings to have speed ASAP. Don't want to lose to a Adept. You want to kill these rocks ASAP. Don't need a spine. Back in the day, in Heart of the Swarm, I used to do a build where it's like, I thought it was 15 pool, 15 hatch, and you would take a gold on like that map that had kind of like a swirl in the middle. I don't know what it's called anymore, but I love that map. I think it's like terraforming or something? I don't know. I love that map a lot. And you would go 15 pool, 15 hatch and build a spine there, and then you would go 2 base Hydra from a gold base. It's funny to think about. Starting with 6 drones, baby. The pacing was nice. I liked the pacing of less workers at the start, but third base going down for Lambo. He has enough lings to take care of the Adept so far. Second Adept is coming in, and this Overlord for Lambo is flying in, is going to confirm that there is an Oracle, but 2 Adepts are going towards his natural, and this is kind of the awkward moment for Zerg. Your speed is not done, but there's 2 Adepts in between your bases. So if you send out any drone or ling, like anything miss rally, just dies to 2 Adepts, and then they shade away. Oh, 2 shades actually go into the main here, and they do manage to kill 2 drones already, and they also maneuver very well around these minerals. Don't use another shade, so they are dead. That is, let's see, 2 Adepts for 5 lings and 2 drones. Not too shabby. 7 more lings on the map, and if Lambo had overmade any more lings there, that would be quite bad for him. But he stayed cool, calm, collected, and not the Dota player, but the, you know, the presence of mind. The state of mind. And Lambo pushing forward his creep. We saw Solar play versus Hearthstone in, I think, my last video on this exact same map, same locations, and Solar pushed that creep forward hella. Like, no breaks on that creep thread from Solar. And just went straight into it, dude. Went for the queen push with the Ravagers, with the Lings, with the Roaches, with the Banelings, and he just kept attacking, and droning behind it, kind of like it was a ZVZ. More creep going down for Lambo in different positions, so he's more like generalized creep spread, and our Roach Warren is going down at that golden base. I mean, his golden base was slightly oversaturated, so that's okay. Let's see what happens here. Only 2 oracles on the map, not making a third one stats. So what is he thinking? He's getting blink. Does he have a forge? No, he does not. He has 2 more gateways. So 4 gate, blink, 2 oracles, no +1. Slight alteration here by stats. Lambo doing mostly the same, but with a gold base. And now he's explodinating into the drone production. Is about to saturate his third base as well. Could start adding on some gases. Is getting a lair. He has an Evo chamber behind this as well, but uses his gas for a lair earlier. That Evo's a little wonky. Like, he has an Evo, but it hasn't started an upgrade. Might be a slight mistake. Especially since he is kind of like floating some gas. But maybe he saw something out of stats here. He's adding on 3 more gases. Maybe he's going for that Spire play in this map. for mutas, you want to have that gas. Sorry for the throat sounds. +1 is now coming out. We see Templar Archives as well. And this is a nice staging point from stats that the creep is not far out enough for Lambo to really control this area. This is so choked up behind these smoke screens. Little bushes, basically. League style. Congrats to Faker for winning the 5th one, I think. What a legend, dude. Holy shit. Like, I don't play League. I haven't played it since 2010, 2011? I don't know. I played Season 1. And then I was like, huh, Han is more fun. But I didn't play that much either. And ever since then, I didn't really play it. And then I played a little bit of TFT. But then they came out with the Vanguard bullshit. And I was like, nope, not having that on my machine. Thank you very much. So, destroyed the client. Got it out of my computer. And haven't touched the game since. Now we see Storm, we see +1 stats. Nice poking here. Just keeping Lambo honest, but Lambo doesn't want to be honest. He has a Spire underway. He's like, please let me be dishonest. I don't want to make any units that cost gas right now, because I want to make as many mutas as possible and just slam dunk win. Oh, the Oracles are here with their laser beams, taking care of a lot of Lings here. +1 is not done for the Stalkers. And the Stalkers are starting to trade out pretty nicely because of that Blink Micro. But still, we did see a couple Lings or Blink Stalkers go down. And a lot of Lings, 50 Lings have died. But Lambo feels like he can spare the cash because he has a lot of minerals from that golden base. Now has a Spire. He can pump out 10 mutas right now and do a lot of damage versus stats if he finds the larva and the supply for it and the guts. I don't... Oh, he doesn't even have roach speed. Very, very confusing game here. Stats now has speed coming up, and he's starting cannons and shield batteries, but not in the main and not in the natural. He's only now just throwing down a 4th. 8 minutes into the game. A 4th comes down for stats. 14 mutas are underway, and Lambo's even being aggressive across the map here, trying to force a blink here. And oh my god, nice trade out. Gets a couple nice Stalker kills there. Runs up into the 3rd base and runs out again. Trying to force out as many non-Stalkers you would hope. Or Stalkers is also fine. Because if your opponent makes Stalkers versus you, that means he made Stalkers. And Stalkers are decent, but they're not great. If you're maxed out, you don't really want to be maxed out on Stalkers. They're a great mid-game unit. Oh my god, the storms come down. Lambo isn't really controlling this army because he just wants these mutas to do a bunch of damage. There is one cannon coming down, and now we need to see some micro here from Lambo. Actually goes back, does not elect to click down the probes, elects to fight the Stalkers. The nuclear battery comes out. How many mutas do we have? 17 on the map, and Stats does not have a direct answer. He has Storm, he has Archons, he has Blink Stalkers. That's a soft counter. That's good. You can stay alive. But if Lambo finds an angle, he can do a lot of damage. If he flies back here, flies into the main, hold position on top of these probes, that's 10 probes gone in an instant. And now that the Stalkers have to stay in the natural, suddenly Lambo can use his whole army to trade with the Protoss, and he tries the magic box on top of the Archons, slightly clumped up with the Mutas, but still gets both of the Archons killed. No Storm here available on these High Templars, and some of the Mutas are getting thinned out. They do have +1, but these Lings are not buffering for the Mutas anymore, and we do see quite a few Mutas going down there. Not quite what Lambo wants to see there. These shield batteries putting in overtime. And there is a nuclear battery available as well. Lambo behind this, though, does have 5 bases and 4.5 bases worth of gas. +2 melees coming out. And this is just Ling Muta coming out of Lambo here. Very cool to see a different style coming out. He is 1-0 up, so he can do something like this. And look at that. The Ling Muta comes in once again. Tries to break open the natural, but the Stalkers are here, the Phoenixes are here, and Lambo does not find an angle. Is making the fleet bacon here for stats. This is one of those games where if you are even more rich than Lambo, you can start making Baneling runbys, but those are so expensive. And Stats is just digging in his heels once again. He's making a lot of cannons, he's making a lot of shield batteries. Now, this is a style that I really like playing at the end of Heart of the Swarm versus Protoss with either Hydras or Mutas. Just never fight the army, always base trade, and this was the worst. If they just dig in on 4 base and was like, I'm just going to make cannons, I'm going to make storms, and then I'm going to make Stargates and Stargate units. And then either I'm maxed out on like Archon, Stalker, Storm and kill you, or I make Carrier Phoenix and I kill you. So let's see what Lambo does here. I feel like Lambo wants to transition here into eventual lurkers. Hydra Lurker would do fine against the Phoenix if you have a good amount of Hydras, maybe even some Infestors. But we'll have to see. Lambo still committing onto the Mutas. He has 30 Mutas here and no Corruptors in sight. But we see the Anti-Impulse Kistrels here onto the Phoenix, so the Phoenix have extra range. And they are getting pelted by these Phoenix. Not even +1, but look at that. The range advantage and these Phoenix. The move and shoot, or, well, they can move while shooting. It's pretty good. I wish Mutas could do that. And, the Ling Muta is getting chased back out onto the map. That is not what you want as the Ling Muta player. Lambo is maxed out, though. 17 Hydras are coming out. No spores to defend his Mutas here. But here are the Hydras, no Banelings for these gateway units. And even the Queen's coming off the line here. Lambo going to collapse onto this gateway army. Lets his Lings go in first. The Hydras come in as well. And now these Mutas backing it up. They do provide decent damage when they are not targeted by the Phoenix and by these Stalkers. Ooh, nice positioning on the Hydras here. I think he's even clicking down some of these Phoenix. Look at that. Nice kills on the Phoenix. If you kill all of the Phoenix, you can suddenly explode back into a nice amount of Mutas. Oh my god, Stats. What a nice move here. Goes for another attack. Kills the Golden Base. Has a lot of Storms and Archons here. 2 more Archons coming in. And just the Mutas and Lings to defend. +2 Zealots, though. Don't care about your Zerglings. You don't have no Carapace upgrades, and that makes it very hard to take care of these Zealots. Zealots are very chonky, and Mutas are just not very good at dealing with the Zealots. Now, the Hydras have to come in, and as soon as Zealots are on top of your Hydras, or you have a low amount of Hydras, so that the Phoenix can lift them up, it is all curtains and Stats. Wow. Survives the onslaught of Lambo, consistently poking him. I don't think that Stats ever scouted the Spire, but he dealt with it very efficiently. He saw that the army was a little bit weird, and he's like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm okay with not killing you right now. And as soon as the Phoenixes were out, the writing was kind of on the wall. I think the best case scenario there, with 30 Mutas on the map, is basically to like be over here with your Mutas, and then you see the Phoenix over here, just looking for your Mutas for some reason, instead of just staying central. And then you can fly in, hold position, kill all the probes, fly into the main, hold position, and maybe even have 2 groups of Muta so that there's one over there, one over here. Because like 30 muta. You can have 15-15 and then kill a bunch of probes whilst building spines and lurkers, maybe queens, just to stay defensive and transition out of the mutas. Because that is, of course, the power of the Zerg. You can tech swap very fast, whereas the Protoss is pretty slow. Has to produce Phoenix 2 at a time. So as soon as he has a bunch of Phoenix, and you make an army composition that makes them quite useless, you have a very nice position as the Zerg player. But Stats made it work, and it's 1-1. And game number 3 starts us off on Amphion, which is a little bit of a weird map. As you can see, naturals go towards your opponent. You only have one logical third base, the other one is locked out by minerals. So pylon blocks on this map are really annoying. I feel like pylon blocking on this map is super good. But Stats, not really having it. Lambo is respecting it a little bit. Sending out a drone, making sure that if he doesn't see a probe, he just takes his natural. Dude, game number 2, I like that Lambo went for the muta Ling. I think this is a super cool composition. But the sad reality is that when your opponent gets up to Phoenix tech like that, the fun is kind of over. And the Lambo, I guess, overcommitted slightly into the muta tech. It's honestly one of the sad truths of StarCraft, that interaction between mutas and Phoenix, or mutas versus Protoss in general, it's kind of like that, where mutas without Phoenix feel very strong versus Protoss, and is very difficult for Protoss to deal with, even though they have the shield battery now, which I think is pretty decent. But Phoenix with Fleet Bacon upgrade feel like you can have a million mutas and it won't matter. Like, it's a very, very hard counter. It's like harder counter than Immortal versus Roach. Which, that's just how the game is. Oh, Stats going for a full... Oh, that's not a full wall, right? It's not a full wall. I think. Double gas, has his pylon in the back of his base. Of course, a Stargate would be pretty good on this map. The bases are close by air after all. And it's hard to take a triangle base, as you can see on the map. So, bases in a line are usually better, or easier to defend by ground than by air, because by air, if you look at like this line, there's just more surface than if you are a triangle. Less surface. You can do the math. Stargate coming out. Nobody's surprised. Maybe in a community expansion in a couple of years, we will add I think it's the Devourer from Brood War, where the muta becomes like a super muta. Ooh, Lambo goes for the triangle base, actually. That is cool. You don't see that a lot, I feel like. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. It's a nice map for Swarmhost. It's not like the best, honestly. It's not the best. But if you're here with Swarmhost, you can hit the main and the natural okay-ish. I think the mapmaker did a good job of putting this area like further away. If like this wall was over here, then you could have your Swarmhost over here and hit the natural and the main. But now, like, it's quite a distance away. It's like 7 range away, 7 hexes. That's quite a bit more time for the Protoss to respond and less time for the Locust to do any damage. Nexus coming up. I think that also really helps with like siege tank shenaniganry from Terran versus Protoss or Zerg. Because if a siege tank could hit the ramp from here, that would be crazy. Guess you could still move the ramp a little down. If the ramp was here, that would be a weird map. I don't think that ever happens. Having the ramp behind your... I'm guessing that would not be good, but it's kind of interesting. You could probably wall it in with like a bunch of pylons and cannons. That would be kind of funny. And the first Oracle is out and about, looking for some trouble. Or, well, this is the second Oracle, I think. But we haven't really seen a lot of kills. Only 3 drones going down. Kind of yapping. So, but I don't think we missed a whole lot. Twilight Console Forge coming out again. Second gateway for stats. I feel like this Twilight Console Forge is a little earlier. And now the rest of the gates come out. So actually, this is just the same thing by stats. Once again, nobody's really surprised. Ooh, more drones going down to the oracles. And stats just relentless in the search for drone kills here. Accepting a lot of damage onto his oracles to get more drone kills here. 6 drones in total on 3 oracle. I don't know where the third one is. Oh, there it is. 2 kills for that bad boy. +1 melee coming out and a Roach Warren. So Lambo staying true to his own style, and he's starting to mine out this middle, which is very good. If stats attacks over here, then he has a pretty nice like choke for himself. And if you're like 6 queens are over here, they just never get through. 1 force field and you're sad. Oh my god, dude, this oracle again! Oh! 7 health! Oh, but this queen can finish the job! No. Okay. Nice. Too much airspace back there. Queens need a buff. Come on. We're paying for them. 25 extra minerals should get us an extra range buff, no? Can't we just make 2 queens? 1 queen that has, like, 1 set of the spells, and the other queen is, like, has the other set. So if, like, an offensive and a defensive queen or something. Or, like, a... Yeah, the Swarm Queen or the normal queen. I think we had the Swarm Queen in Heart of the Swarm campaign. Why don't we do that? So you have to kind of choose as a Zerg. Do I want these queens for economy, or do I want these queens for defensive capability? And not both. It might be a solution. Don't make them cost gas, though. Because that would just make them big roaches. More gateways coming down for stats. He is on that 8 gateway blink +1 train once again. And getting storm. Dude, this guy has no shame in being super defensive. Lambo. He saw those golden minerals. He's like, yep, that's where I'm going. They're on a different spot than on this Merrick base. Interesting. So what is Lambo thinking? He's getting Hydra range, he's getting a Lurker Den, he's getting an Infestation Pit. So kind of going for the Cave Bob. Just going for his Lurkers. Getting a bunch more drones here. Shooting almost up to 90. And Stats starts to force his way in. The Hydras aren't out yet, so Stats going to get a pretty nice trade here. Nice movement from Lambo here with the Lings. Making sure to send out a couple to make sure that there's no stasis wards hitting almost all of his Lings. But Stats, oh my god. Lambo getting caught with his pants down. Lambo, Stats is committing for this. 1 Oracle does go down. And now the Hydras and the Queens finally come out to play. Bunch of drones went down here. And Lings come out of their stasis to fight. And Stats can just blink back. Storm has finished up. And no 4th base. Ooh, big run by of Zealots, but no charge just yet. This Overlord does find the 4th base right away. Lambo, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna close this off? Couple spines, maybe 2 Lurkers, and just expand here? Kill this rocks, expand here, maybe here, kill these rocks? Just completely wall this in? That would make it very, like, easy against Zealot run-bys, but I don't know if that's viable. Because if you, like, ever try to take this base, you're always gonna get all of these zombie Zealots running in, trying to do damage. Bunch of Lurkers being built once again. This time around, Lambo does not have a drop ready, but he's gonna run them in. Going to try and take the field center, making sure that it's very hard for Stats to choose a position. I would love to see a couple drones come out and try to mine it out. Oh, we do have 1 Dropper Lord with Lurkers. So, Lambo going for another one of those moves. We're already fully zoomed out. The Lurkers are trying to get in position. Lots of Stormy Boys here. At least 4 Storms. And probably 6. And the Hydras and the Lurkers get access to the natural. And in the meanwhile, there's also 2 Lurkers in the main. There was actually a Void Ray build by Stats. What a stroke of genius to have a Void Ray over here deal with all of these Lurkers super efficiently. And Nuclear Battery gets committed immediately. Gets clicked down by the Hydras. And this army tries to get into the natural, but meets a bunch of lurker spines. We do have an observer here and storms as well. The lurkers are naked, and the warp gate units, oh my god, the lurkers are still alive, doing so much damage to all of this, and the stormy boys almost get killed. Only one Archon had to be morphed. The High Templar still alive, and relentless assault here from Lambo, going for the Nydus Worm once again, and Stats answers once again with the Tempest. He's like, I liked my response on Oceanborn. I might have lost that game, but I'm gonna show you why I did it and why I think it's good. 5 more Dropper Lords coming out here for Lambo. He wants to do a similar move. Put down a Nydus, drop a bunch of units, and just kill you. And that has been a strategy as long as the Lurker has been in the game, basically. If you get a bunch of Lurkers on top of somebody's main ramp, they just can't get in. They can't get back. It's so difficult that basically this base just dies. If there's 6 Lurkers here, unless you have carriers, you're not breaking that. And you're just losing your main. And we see Lings, Hydras, Queens, and 4 Lurkers in those Dropper Lords. And if they don't get found out by Stats, if he doesn't see it like over here and instantaneously recalls, I think Lambo's gonna do very well. Makes a Nydus over there. Would have preferred to see it over here, just to pull him further away from your drop. But an attack at the 3rd, a drop in the main, and a Nydus in the natural is going to be the move of Lambo. And of course, the attacker has the advantage here. He knows when he's going to move in, and the lurkers are in position, almost reaching the ramp here. And these units, I think, are actually just going to come up fine, because these lurkers are attacking buildings and stuff. The observer comes out. There's no detection here for Lambo, not enough defense. And the Immortals and the Tempest manage to clean it up. Not what Lambo had hoped there. Goes for a Nydus at the front, moves into the 4th, has a lurker there. Ooh, big storms coming out of Stats, making it impossible for Lambo to move up this tiny choked up ramp. Should probably kill those rocks if he wants to, like, just send it up there, but it's very difficult. More lurkers coming in, and Lambo just likes to aggressively attack in this position. Has taken a 5th base, but no gases there, no drones there. And more Tempests are coming out. Tempest and Immortals for Stats, and at some point he hits critical mass of Tempest Immortal, which honestly, like, Lurkers and Hydras just don't deal that well with those units in high numbers. Another Stargate coming out. One of them did get killed in the main, and we have 4 Tempest once again. I just think these Tempests are such a cool addition. Oh, the Lurker Spine's doing a lot of damage. If you move slightly too far forward too early as the Protoss here, you take a lot of damage for free. Nice storms going down. Only 2 lurkers remaining, and they are tagged. Not anymore, but there is an observer, and again, no detection for Lambo to snipe this observer. Like, Stats is on 1 observer and no oracles. Oh, this is a nice move from Lambo, though. Has a nice lurker, like, little lurker Hydra Force behind the 4th. Taking out a couple probies. 70 probes have died, 200 lings have died, and another Nydus is coming out at the natural. And Lambo just relentless, going to burrow more lurkers, getting an Overseer, clicks down the Robo. And it's looking real good for Lambo all of a sudden. Maybe you can click down +3 as well. Can get a pretty good trade. There is a nuclear battery that either you want to click down or don't fight here. But Lambo feels like he has enough damage here to just fight it. The 3rd, or +3, gets delayed. Lots of Hydras get shut down here. The Lurker was sniped as well. Photon Cannon giving the detection for that. Ooh, and here comes the Zealot run by. Very annoying to deal with for the Zerg. You need like 6 spines. It's crazy. Like, Lurkers aren't very good at dealing with the Zealots either. Like, they'll kill them eventually, but Zealots just kill anything else. Oh. And Stats might even think about a 5th here? Oh my word. Oh my lord. Lambo getting burrow, getting more lurkers, but the supply is still relatively even. 75 drones up against the 70 probes of Stats. He's getting +1 air attack. He's getting a mothership now. And he has 2 Stargates. This Overseer gets into the main, but can't make a nydus if there's a couple Stalkers here. Might need a second nydus for some nydus drilling. Or more Dropper Lords. I like that answer a lot. If it's like, oh, there's like 5 units there, it's very annoying. Because they will kill 1 nydus worm. What if I just drop 4 Lurkers and a bunch of Lings and a couple Hydras, maybe a Queen there? So only that nydus is gonna go up. Hydras come in, couple of them hit the Nexus. And look at these Tempest. Really punishing move-outs like that 5 Tempest. And here comes a nydus. 3 Stalkers. I don't know if 3 Stalkers kill that. We learned that 3 Stalkers don't kill a drone if they don't have +1, but they do kill a Lurker or a nydus. And Lambo takes that opportunity. Boom! Gets into the fuel center. Stats has a bunch of Lurkers at the ready. Get that detection, baby. 20 probes go down. And that is the damage you're looking for. The 5th is down as well. Is Lambo doing this? Is he gonna go up 2-1 versus Stats here? Stats 110 supply versus 170 of Lambo, and it's looking good. We don't have a nuclear battery either. Oh, just a storm and a couple links, just trying to hold on here. There's a mothership. But Lambo, this is looking very good, and he can perhaps snowball this into a dub. Adrenal Glance is almost done. And Stats lost his natural there. He still has a 3rd base. He has a 4th base mining, but doesn't have a 5th. He's making a new Cyber Core. He did finish +1 air. We have 5 Tempest now. And Stats calls the G to the G. Lambo takes game number 3 on Amphion with a banger of a game, dude. So cool to just see the consistent drops with the Lurkers and the nydus, and just you need one good position, and he's just continuously attacking from all sides, and it's like a mosquito, but a mosquito with a hammer. Just flies in like bonk, like attack over here, attack over here, attack over here. Oh, now I'm over here. Oh, now I'm over here. Now I'm over here. Now I'm over here. Now I'm over here. Dude, just pulling Stats apart. He tried it with the mutas, didn't work, but it did work with the nydus, with the Lurkers, and he tried it twice. He did the strat twice versus Stats, and it worked twice. I think Lambo might be onto something here versus Stats. And for game number 4, we load up into Site Delta. Lambo is on match point, taking down Stats twice with the Lurker nydus Dropper Lord strategy that he has cooked up for this Protoss player. And Stats. He did take 1 dub against the mutas. So he has to kind of like adapt and play well against that drop style. Because I think that he can expect Lambo to do that again, right? You can just expect him to do it again. And if he does it again, you can't lose again. So where is he gonna cut a corner? Where is he going to try something different? Because I expect Stats to do a similar setup. Because I think it could work. But he needs a little bit more oomph. I like the Void Ray, for example, a lot. Because the Void Ray could cover the top of his main base. But at some point it died and he didn't remake it. So the Overseers kept coming in again. Lambo going for pretty standard 16 hatch, 19 gas, 18 pool, or 18 gas, 17 pool. And Stats going for the Nexus into the core. So I think all eyes are on Stats here. Lambo's proven that I have a formula that works against you. And you play very similar every game. And you know that you can't completely blindly expect me to do it, because I might just go mutas. And even though you won once, it's still a dangerous strat to go up against. Lambo pulls his works out of gas, starts up the speed, gets a couple lings. And let's see if he can get up his third base here. An Adept is coming out, and of course a Stargate for stats once again. Wait, what? The drones are coming off the line. For Lambo. Speed is not done. He has a lot of drones and a couple of lings. Does he just want to catch stats here with one unit out on the map? If this Adept does not stay in the wall, dude, the balls on Lambo, no way. Schrodinger's Adept goes across the map, and Lambo's going to capitalize. No way. Dude, the sucker punch of all of the ages. The drones come in. The drones are here to drill any unit that is there, but there is no unit. The Adept is late. My buddy, you fell asleep on the job. The lings are in, the drones are in, and it's the fisticuffs of the workers. The drones, or the probes come in, though, to kill a lot of drones. 7 drones already dead, but the lings come in. More lings are streaming across the map. The Adept got surrounded and killed. The pylon is dead. This Adept barely finished up, and I think that Lambo's just overwhelming here. Oh, another Adept does come out. Stats has a couple more probes on this map. If he survives, he can maybe reprobe, but speed finishes up, and Stats just has to GG out just like that. Lambo does not give him the time of day. He's like, get out of my game. Get out of my series. I already beat you twice. Let me do it thrice. In under 3 or under 4 minutes, I suppose. Jesus. This just looks like a standard opener, and then he just pulls all of his drones. He lost 11 drones there. Just pulls all the drones, and if there's a worker, I guess he just drills through and kills it. Kills the pylon. Dude, this is one of those builds. I think that Lambo, every early game, saw what Stats was doing. He's like, you're doing the same thing every time. You never leave your Adept at home. You always make a similar wall. You never make like a second gateway unit right away. Or like you go for the super greedy Stargate. I think this was a really ballsy call. Being up one game really plays into this because you have a game to lose. And he just goes for it. He smells blood in the water. And Lambo is a shark. And rips Stats a new one. Wow. Lambo takes this best of 5 with a little spectacle at the end there. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am a little bit in awe of this super cheese, but also really do appreciate it when my pro players pull out a little bit of cheese. That leaves us one thing to do, and that is rate this series. Now, I think that we saw some cool things. We saw the Tempest, we saw the Lurkers with the nydus, with the drops, and we saw a super cheeky cheese as well. I don't think it's gold, but it's definitely I would say 7 out of 8 blue minerals. Maybe a little bit high, but I love me some Zerg versus Protoss.
Locked in.
Let me know in the comments if you agree with my verdict, and I hope you enjoyed. Be sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.